vinyl community and everybody out there in YouTube land. That's right, it is me, Kendall, again, for the Spin Doctor and his Vinyl Mayhem YouTube channel. And that's right, today I'm coming with a concert review. That's right, did one for the Foo Fighters a few months back, and I'm doing one today for the Red Rocker, Sammy Hagar. Sammy was in Charlotte Friday night. And I wanted to have this video out yesterday, but I'll be honest, I was not feeling well. I was in bed most of yesterday. And no, it was not because I almost passed out at the Sammy Hagar concert like I did the Foo Fighters concert. Different reasons, a whole different thing, I'm not going to get into it. Feeling a little bit better today, still not feeling great, but I wanted to get this video out there, so here I am today. I gotta preface this by saying I was very excited for this concert because I have never seen Sammy Hagar live. Never seen Van Hagar, never seen, I said Van Hagar, but I've never seen Van Halen live. And so I knew that this was going to be pretty much the closest I was ever going to get. You know, I kind of grew up in that time where there was a lot of transition going on with Van Halen, and you know, the best shot I would have ever had of seeing Van Halen in their purest form would have been the Best of Both Worlds tour, and that just didn't happen. And then of course when they got back together in '07, which I'm glad I didn't go because I have friends that did go and said that honestly it was not worth it. They said obviously Roth just did not sound good, and honestly there was technical issues with Eddie's guitar equipment, not with his playing per se, but just with the guitar equipment and stuff like that, and it sounded off. At times it sounded out of tune. And so honestly I'm glad I never saw that either. But I'll be honest with you, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I have always been a Hagar fan more than a Roth fan, so I prefer the Hagar stuff more. I just always have. Maybe it's because I grew up in that era, whereas you know the Roth stuff was before my time. And I've always been a Sammy Hagar fan of his solo stuff, and Roth I've just never been that much of a fan. I just prefer Hagar's voice. I like the fact that Hagar can play the guitar. You know, he's just a better musician all around than David Lee Roth. Yes, Roth is a showman and all that good stuff. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here for the actual review. So first and foremost, the show, you know, if you know anything about the show, this was put together because it's actually been 20 years since the Best of Both Worlds tour, when the whole debacle of the Roth and Hagar coming together to do the Van Halen reunion shows, that whole thing, and we all know how that went. If you've read if you've read Sammy Hagar's book, you know how that went. And then of course there's just plenty of stories out there. And you know, Eddie passed away back in 2020, and so Van Halen's just no longer around. They're not going to be around. Alex is done with music. We know that. And so I knew that this was going to be my only shot to see any Van Halen music ever played again, probably, at least in its closest, purest format. And I wanted to see it. And when I heard that they were getting, you know, Michael Anthony's been playing with Sammy pretty much ever since Van Halen. And so, all right, you got half of Van Halen right there. And then when I heard Jason Bonham, because Jason's, you know, he's in The Circle. You know, Jason Bonham, the son of the great John Bonham, you know, Jason has said his favorite drummer besides his dad was Alex Van Halen. Well, Alex Van Halen's favorite drummer was John Bonham. So basically, you know, when it comes to the drumming in this, that it's going to be as close to and purest to what you're going to get. And then Joe Satriani. Joe Satriani, we all know as a great guitar player. That goes without saying. And he had said that he was going to do his very best to keep it as pure, as close to a tribute homage to Eddie as possible. And he practiced his butt off, he said. And so, all right, I figured you can't go wrong with that. And so I got excited for it. And I couldn't wait to see what the set list was going to be. And I'll be honest with you, I cheated. I looked and saw what the first set list was when they played their first show down in Florida. And I must say, I got pretty lucky. I think we were the fourth show that they played here in Charlotte. And the reason I felt like that we were lucky is because we were able to see them kind of, because the first couple shows, they got to get things just right. There's going to be some mistakes, and they're going to grind it out. Sammy's voice has got to get, all revved up and right. And so, by the fourth or fifth show, there is when they're probably going to be where they need to be. So I felt like we were getting lucky with that. And when it comes to the set list, they had pretty much said, the tour is called The Best of All Worlds. This is the shirt I got. I've said it before. I try to get tour shirts for every concert I go to. I got this. I also picked up this keychain. This is the keychain that they were selling. I thought they were going to have the I Can't Drive 55 ones, but instead they had this. I thought this was pretty cool. This is the guitar that Sammy played as well. So just a cool looking one. It's also got his symbol there on the back, if you can see that. Anyway, so if you are wanting to see mainly Sammy songs, you're going to be a little disappointed. He played the classics, he played There's Only One Way to Rock, he played I Can't Drive 55 in heavy metal, he played Eagles Fly, so he played those mainstays. He did do a little bit of at the end, a little bit of a medley. He played Space Station 5 from Montrose, and he played Oh Yeah from Chickenfoot that went into, go figure, To Jump. They did do a few Roth era songs, and they were the songs that they did when Sammy was in the band. They played Panama, they played Ain't Talking About Love, but this time instead of Sammy on vocals, they had Michael Anthony on vocals, which I'm not gonna lie, guys, he killed it. Michael's still got pipes. He's still got the pipes, so that was really cool. But you're gonna hear mainly songs from this album, and honestly, songs from this album. You'll hear, one song from this. They played what was it? The Seventh Seal, which I looked up. The last time Sammy ever played this song was the Best of Both Worlds tour in 2004. The last time that he played that one live. And then he played. I was a little bummed out. I was hoping to hear I was hoping to hear Finish What You Started. It is my favorite Van Halen song. He did not play that, but they did play. Oh geez, what did they play from this one? I want to say it was. Shoot, I don't remember. But most of the songs, like I said, were off of this record and this record. And, from the very beginning, he came out and just was like, "Hello, Charlotte," and went straight into Good Enough, which I don't think they've played basically since, maybe the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge or Right Here, Right Now tour. They played 5150. They played Summer Nights, which they did say they've not played that since the 5150 tour. They played, I think they played half of that album actually. And then they played, like I said, they played Pound Cake. They played Judgment Day, which, oh my gosh, hearing the guitar on Judgment Day, Joe Satriani did such a great job with that. They played Right Now, Top of the World. I couldn't believe. Right Now is one that they do play quite often, but to play Top of the World was very, very surprising. Run Around, of course. Honestly, it was basically like you were on the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour almost. Really, that's kind of what you were what I would expect it would have been like. He did, oh yeah, he did play Mas Tequila, so I did forget that one. And then they did play Satch Boogie. So I mean, you got to hear a good variety of stuff. And I think what helped too is just the fact that they brought in a keyboardist. I can't think of his name. Ray something. He's from Australia. Great vocalist. I believe he's in Joseph Satriani's band. And then so you had him. You had Michael Anthony on vocals, helping Sammy along. I mean, Sammy's 76 years old. Michael Anthony's in his 60s, and for a guy that's 76 years old to still be performing at this level was amazing. It was so entertaining the entire time. And, the show started a little bit early. Loverboy went on at 6:45 instead of 7. There was rain earlier in the day, and they were calling for rain later in the evening. So at about 5 songs left in the show for when Sammy was on, we did start to see some rain, but we stayed out there because I wanted to hear everything. Like I said, this was a first for me. And I enjoyed every minute of it. Loverboy was just out there. I'm just going to go ahead and say that right now. Loverboy was just out there. I think they're all but one is everybody's original except for one player, but they sounded okay, but they just pretty much stood on stage and that was it. But Sammy was going all over the place, telling stories, cracking jokes. I thought it was really cool. He would actually go around and like take stuff from the fans and sign it and give it back to him while he was singing. He was opening up cans of alcohol and then giving it to the fans. Of course, he was just being very much a rock star, which is what you want. And so that was very cool. He had a little bit of some wardrobe stuff. He would put on like old Van Halen stuff. He had the flags. He was throwing those out to the crowd. He put on a Ric Flair robe and mentioned Ric Flair and did his best impression. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, they played for like 2.5 hours, 21 songs in all. Just totally worth the price of admission, and for me was a bucket list item. So I will say, guys, this for me ranks very high up for being able to say, hey, I didn't get to see Van Halen live, but this is definitely going to be as close as I'll ever, this was the closest thing, and you know what, I'm happy with it. Joe did such a great job. He had some great guitars out there. He played great. He did his very best to try to stay true to the sound of Eddie. And, from the very beginning, they said this is a tribute to Eddie. This is a tribute to Van Halen. We are paying tribute to the music that Michael and I made with the band. And they did a great job. They played songs that I know that they hadn't played in years. And it was very, very enjoyable. So if you have any reservations about going to see him, trust me, you will not regret it. Totally worth it. But like I said, if you're going to hear a lot of great Sammy songs, just Sammy songs, you will not hear that. You're going to hear mainly Van Halen. You'll hear his classics, of course, but you're going to hear mainly Van Halen stuff, which honestly is kind of what I wanted. I mean, I wanted to hear his classics, of course, but I wanted to hear mainly Van Halen, and that's what I got. So I was very happy. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this may have helped you decide whether or not you're going to go see Sammy later on. And yeah, if you liked what you heard and saw, let me know. Leave me a thumbs up, some comments down below. Let me know if you've already seen him this year, if you're planning on going to see him. And if you have any questions, let me know as well. I'll do my best to answer any of them. But I hope to catch you guys later. And until then, peace and love. Goodbye. See ya.
Playing the guitar. He said, watch this shit. So watch this shit.